Hello. Welcome to Dancing Water. I'm Susan. I'm delighted you're here. We're here for our Dancing Water daily practice, and today it is a restorative yoga practice that is designed to support your body and your nervous system when you're feeling overwhelmed. So for me, when there's too much, when there's a lot to process, when there's a lot to do, when there's a lot to feel, I often get this sensation of being overwhelmed. And that can leave me either feeling stalled or stuck, um, paralyzed even, or it can send me into a sort of cycle of doing and busyness with some effort to gain control. And what I'm offering here is instead giving the body and the mind some support so that it can come out of the fight or flight or freeze, which is what happens when we get overwhelmed, and get into the larger part of our brain, which will allow us to relax and digest and make good choices from a skillful place. So, a couple of things that you'll need for your practice today. We're going to do something. I'm going to focus on tucking in and supporting. So one important thing is a soft blanket that feels good. We'll use the blanket in different ways in the practice so that you can feel different ways of supporting yourself from around. Then 2 bath towels, and you can get both of them into a roll to begin. So I like to do a kind of tight little roll like a log, call it cleverly the towel log. So we need 2 of those. And then 2 pillows, 2 firm pillows, and an eye covering if you like. Although I sometimes choose not to use it. I might for this practice, but I like to have it handy. And then a cup of tea. I just made this for our practice today, so it's pretty warm, and I'm hoping that it'll still be warm when we finish. So water is also good, but something non-stimulating to the nervous system. I really like, this is a cup of Dandy Blend tea, which is a roasted dandelion root, which sounds revolting, but it's actually really good. It has a richness, almost like coffee, and I really love it. So, tuck and support. So when I'm feeling overwhelmed, one of the things, think if you if you had a child or a friend who was feeling overwhelmed, one of the things that would feel good is hugging them, holding them, giving them some compression. So we're going to focus on that. And let's begin by doing a Ragdoll Pose. So I'm going to do it to the side so you can see this. So just take your feet just about hip width apart. Really let them relax on the floor. And then just gently bend your knees and drape yourself over. And you can have your hands on the floor. You can have your hands on your shins, any place that feels comfortable. But whatever you do, just let your head go and bend your knees a lot so that your chest can rest on your thighs. And if you like, a hood can be nice. Just feeling that kind of snuggled in sensation. Another option with your arms is to let your elbows clasp each elbow. And the third option with arms is behind you. It's sort of a double hug around your body. And just nod your head yes and shake it no. Take a couple of deep breaths. Really feel your ribs hug against your thighs. nice and holding in your neck, just feel a drape down. And if you've got a clasp of your hands, just relax them and slowly bring yourself to the mat. And let's set up for our first restorative posture. So we're going to begin with supported eagle with kimono. So here's what you need. You need your two pillows, taking them right next to each other, sort of making yourself a little bolster. And then you may want to have a small pillow for your head. I'm going to have my eye covering handy just so that I can make sure that I can adjust my neck. Then take your hips right at the edge of your pillows and slowly, no, I forgot the kimono almost. All right, take your soft blanket, nice and long. Before you roll back, take it right around your low back, right around your kidney area. So you want to wrap it nice and snug around you. And then roll back. All right. So really just feel this tucking around your low back and your belly so that you feel supported and warm right around your middle. And then check out your neck. And so here I'm going to put, this is a small hand towel. I'm just going to put it right at the base of my skull so that my chin is tucked. My neck, the back of my neck is long. And then with your feet flat on the floor, your knees toward the ceiling, just take your right arm, your right leg, and cross it over your left. And then take your right arm under your left arm and wrap around. So your elbows are pointing up toward the ceiling. You might even be able to wrap around and feel your shoulder blades at the back. Just take a couple of breaths here. Feeling the foot that's on the floor, feeling that sensation of support. And then feeling the support of the blanket tucked around your belly and your low back. Relaxing your jaw. You can have your eyes open, a soft gaze. You could have something over them, a scarf or something. Or just close them. Or whatever you choose, just soften your brow and the space at your temples. Notice the wrap of the arms around your chest, and notice that as you breathe, there's a gentle lifting and lowering of your elbows and arms. And make a choice with your hands and your arm wrap that is a comforting choice. Imagining that child coming to you overwhelmed and just giving that hug of reassurance and support. Feeling your thigh on your right side in particular, just letting it rest heavily in your hip joint. Notice any sensation at your inner thigh with your two femur bones crossing. Take a couple of deep breaths here, and then just let your elbows slide up so that your arms rest over your eyes. I call this make it all stop. So feeling the support of your arms just resting heavy on your eyes. Letting your breath just do whatever it does, and then consciously take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, uncross your arms, let them rest open. Gently and slowly uncross your legs, open up your feet, and let your knees rest together. In restorative yoga, we allow the spaces between the poses to be as much of the practice as the poses themselves. So now center your feet again right under your knees and let your left leg come up and over the right, and let your left arm come under the right. Wrapping around that comforting hug. So feel your hands somehow tucked under you. So it might be under your shoulders, it might be under your shoulder blades, it might be under your ribs. You just find a place to tuck your hands underneath. So you're both giving your body the support of the hands underneath you, but you're also giving your hands a rest. Your hands that are doing all the time. Just letting them rest under your body. Letting your arms ride on your ribs. Thigh bones resting in the sockets. Right foot softening on the floor. Tongue relaxing away from the roof of your mouth and sitting in the bottom of your mouth. Maybe swallow. Back of your waist, supported by the blanket, soft and warm on the pillow. Relaxing your eyes, allowing your eyes just to receive shape and color without a lot of attachment to whatever is coming into your eyes. Noticing sound in the space and letting your ears relax around that sound. Then as you're ready, taking a deep breath in and slowly slide your elbows up over your eyes. Make it all stop. Notice the warmth of your arms on your eyes and head. Relaxing your belly. Relaxing muscles around your hips. And then as you're ready, very slowly just keep the elbows sliding up over your head until they're resting in soft cactus arms out to the side. And then taking your left leg up and over, feet wide, knees rest together. And now very gently tuck your whole body in. So knees and elbows come together, roll to the side, and rest on your side. Then using your top hand, push down into the floor and slowly come back up to sitting. Just let yourself reorient. And as easily as we can, transition to the next pose, which is Mountain Brook pose. So taking your two pillows, moving one pillow up to the top of your space, and that's going to be for your head, and then your other pillow down about 2/3. Your knees are going to rest over this pillow. Now you've got your two towel logs. Take one, it's going to be here for your ribs, and one at the base for your feet. So you may need to play with the distribution here. Then take your blanket, unwrap your kimono, and set your hips between your towel and your pillow. And then take your blanket and wrap it around your feet. So Mountain Brook is meant to be, the props underneath you are like stones in the river, and your body is like water. Then you could think of the blanket as like white water that's rolling along the top. So let the blanket, so before you lay back, tuck the blanket under your legs. You really feel that support around your legs, and then come back so that the second towel is right under your rib cage. And so you may need to adjust this. You may need to make this either higher or lower, depending on what feels right. And again, adjusting your support under your head. You can fold the pillow, or I'm just going to use the hand towel just under the base of my skull so that my chin is tucked. And then draw the blanket up as high as it'll go and tuck it under your hips. So you want it to be smooth under there, no bumps under there. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. So with the blanket tucked, you can really just let your legs relax. Just let them pool over the supports of the props. And you can rest your hands on top, but given the theme today, I'm going to tuck my hands. Oh, hi, Phoenix. I'm going to tuck my hands right under my hips. Hi, Phoenix. So again, the hands then are both supporting the body, but they're also getting some support themselves in letting go. So animals and children love it when we practice on the floor. They know the power of relaxing. So it's very common that Phoenix comes to join me for my restorative practice. I was doing some last night. She practiced with me the whole night. So allow your breath to ripple over your bones, over the props. Feeling your feet supported by the blanket and the towel at the base. Your knees rippling over the pillow. Your ribs rippling over the towel. And your head rippling up over the pillow at the top. The support of the blanket tucked around you, almost like swaddling. Restorative, your breath may go shallow or it may go deep. It may go some of both, and it's totally fine. Just let your breath do whatever it wants to do without controlling it in any way. Asking yourself, is there something you could do that would be more comfortable? You may find some external rotation in your thigh bones against the wrap of the blanket, which would just mean that your toes would relax out toward the side. So they may not move, but you may feel that rotation. Let your shoulders sink like two smooth stones onto the floor between the towel and the pillow. Face soft, without expression. Eyes like two puddles of water. And then take an inhale breath. If your hands are tucked underneath, you may lift yourself up and give yourself a stretch. Stretching your toes and your fingers away from each other. Inhale deep and then soften again. Just relax down. And again, just gently bring your knees and your elbows in and roll to the side. And then super slowly push up into seated. So if we feel overwhelmed, we can have this rushing inclination that we need to quickly get to the next thing, that somehow by going more quickly that we will be able to relax and let go, when the opposite is actually true. So let's go to the next pose, which is legs up with legs wrapped. So find a place. You can do this against a wall, or you can also use a chair, whatever you prefer. So take your towel and set it aside, and put one of your pillows right up against the wall, or up against the feet of the chair. What are you doing? And then set your other towel aside, and you may want a support for your head again. So now you're going to leave Phoenix. You're going to leave your feet wrapped. So kind of tuck the blanket around your feet, and then tuck your hip right up against the wall. And first roll back and then lift up. So what you want is to really feel the wrap of the blanket around your legs so that they're both warm and supported. So that might take a little finagling. Just find your way into these wrapped legs. But then eventually just tuck the blanket underneath your hips. And you can't see them, but my feet are parallel with each other. And the blanket is sort of giving them some support from on top. And you're feeling the support around your thighs. And the blanket, if it depends on the size of the blanket, but mine is enough to sort of give me this kimono feeling. So my head, I think I would like a little support under my head, but just a little bit of lift of my head. So again, my chin is tucked. Hands once again can be resting on your body, on the side if that feels good, or I'm going to tuck them under my hips. Now this is a pose that Phoenix and I did together last night. This is a pose that I really like to do if I'm having trouble sleeping. And I like to do it with a blanket so that as my body relaxes, the body temperature is likely to go down. And so that I can keep relaxing with the warmth of the blanket around my legs. In that way, it's also important to have a soft surface underneath you. So a mat or a carpet or another blanket underneath you is a really important part of allowing your nervous system to let go and feel both supported and comforted. is very relaxing for the heart. It reverses the flow of blood through the legs, which are so often underneath us. And again, don't forget, if this feels too complicated or too challenging to get into, you're welcome to let your knees come to 90 degrees over a chair or over a sofa or a bed. It has the same benefits. You can do the same thing with a blanket. And I like to imagine that my legs are like a waterfall that are gently pouring down and pooling at my belly and hips. Now, my hips are a place where I can unconsciously be holding a lot of tension, especially when I feel overwhelmed. So this is a great posture, especially with the support of the blanket, to really let any tension in the legs let go. From the pooling at the belly and hips, at the base of the waterfall, letting it fan out into the ribs, the throat, into shoulders, rippling out from the waterfall to the pool and out beyond. Taking a couple of deep breaths with an audible exhalation. You can sigh or hum. When I'm feeling really overwhelmed, one of my favorite things to do is horse breath. So inhale and exhale, relax your lips. Couple more deep breaths with some kind of audible sound. One more. Whenever you're ready, just let your heels softly slide down the wall, or let your knees come in off the chair. Everybody, whether you're on chair or wall, just gently give a hug in. Use the strength of your hands on your shins, and then gently tip over to one side. And then finally, we're going to take a Savasana, so a final resting pose. And you can do this either on your back, which is the traditional pose, or I'm going to take it on my front. So either way, I like to have, when I'm on the back, to have support under my knees, and then when I'm on the belly, to have support under my shins. And of course, given our theme today, we are going to tuck up and cover up. So take your blanket and just gather your blanket just right around your waist, like this. And so if you're doing face up, you would do it on the other side. So you would do it around the front of you. But I'm going to do it face down. So, so now take your legs. So either your knees are going to be supported if you're on your back, or your shins are supported if you're on your front. And off of my feet. So my whole idea is that I want the blanket to be around my feet. And then get yourself set up and then tuck yourself in. Tuck in around your hips, around your thighs. And now your arms, we're not going to be here terribly long, but your arms can either rest at your sides or in a cactus, soft cactus, by your sides, which is my favorite, or you can also support your head with your hands or a towel or something like that. Just let your bones sink a little closer to the earth. Imagining your body resting in soft soil. With every breath, feel the sensation of sinking in. If your head is turned to one side, you may want to turn it to the other, give the other side of your face some support, the other ear some support, the other side of your neck. Just let your breath just be as quiet and gentle as you possibly can. And then take some deep breaths. If you're on your back, gently pull your knees toward your chest. If you're on your belly, use both hands and just very briefly just push yourself back into a child's pose. Then bring yourself to a seated posture. I'm going to use a pillow to support my hips and use a blanket around me. Feel that sense of tucked in. Taking your tea or your water and just holding it at your heart, and reminding yourself that being overwhelmed is totally natural and normal. Everybody feels it sometimes. And the key is to recognize the sensation of being overwhelmed and then using strategies and tools to navigate it in a skillful way. To allow yourself a little space, a little time to pause, let your higher brain come online. And then taking a deep breath, taking that intention with you. Friends, thank you for joining me for the Dancing Water Daily Restorative Yoga practice today. I am so glad you gave yourself this gift. Please do, as always, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share any practices that work for you that you think someone else may benefit from. And if you are so moved, please offer any financial support for the continued creation of these practices for you and anyone else who could use them, regardless of their circumstances. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.